overall improvement in the security since 2002. And the government had designed strategies for protection of human rights defenders. And I was informed that they increased their protection fund from 13 million to 40 million. The ombudsperson was also doing commendable work with the early warning mechanism. And during my visit, because the human rights defenders had informed me about the persistent branding and stigmatization, I insisted when I met the president that he makes a public statement to recognize the role of human rights defenders in the country. And on that evening, when I met him, he positively drafted a statement which circulated to all radios. And during the my stay there, the Vice President and the Minister of Interior and Justice also made statements recognizing the role of human rights defenders. However, much remained to be done, because by the time I got to the country, defenders had been suffering in the various ways you've heard from the testimonies. Killings, forced disappearances, death threats, hostage taking, landmines and bombings, violence against children and women, displacement of indigenous and Afro-descendant communities, surveillances and illegal searches. Issues of stigmatization and branding were raised by defenders who are normally accused of collaborating with the guerrillas, threats through emails and public statements. And I was shown a video by the civil society of public statements which have been made against defenders. The situation in Colombia is not easy. Violations are attributed to various institutions or organizations. Others allege that the threats are carried out by guerrillas. Others that they are by the new illegal armed groups. Others that they are by paramilitary groups, which the defenders allege have not been dismantled. And my recommendation was that the government should investigate and prosecute whoever is carrying out these threats, because it's become almost a culture in a country where there are threats and death threats to almost everybody, including Supreme Court judges. There is still high level of impunity, and I recommended that efforts should be made to investigate the illegal activities of DAS, to improve on the protection program by the government, to stop the wiretapping and surveillance of human rights defenders, of judges of the Supreme Court and others, and also to purge the intelligence archives on human rights defenders with assistance of the Office of the High Commissioner and the international community. It's a very confusing state. There is need to dismantle the new emerging paramilitary groups, which has brought up a lot of confusion on the situation within the country. There is need to fight impunity and make effective investigative methodology. I raised the issue with the government that there is need to stop stigmatization and public statements against defenders. And as I said, I was promised that this will be done, maybe the panelists can tell us from September to October now whether they are seeing any changes or everything is continuing as I found it. There is a need to address the issue of drug trafficking and paramilitarism, and to find out who is actually making these threats, because I was asking them who actually carries out these death threats, which has left everybody very frightened to carry out any work, and also to stop the massacres against indigenous and Afro-Colombian people. I think some of the questions you put them to me. What needs to be done is to do what people are saying. Is for the government to carry out what it promises to do. If the president promised that he's going to stop making public statements against defenders, has he stopped? I think this is what we should find out. Has he stopped? If the government is going to say that they are going to implement what was put in various agreements, have they started to implement? Have they taken measures to implement? And I think the most important goal is to restore the confidence, the relationship which exists between the government and human rights defenders. It's a very polarized relationship. There's a lot of mistrust, and I think there is need to work on that. The international community is trying its best to bring the two parties together. It's a very, very difficult situation. But I think we must say that there must be a way things should be moved. The government must start to implement what it's saying, and there must be a positive step to really insist that they carry out what they promised to do. And there, then, we expect civil society also to make a move and take advantage. We shall make our recommendations in a final report, which we shall present to the Council by March. And we would like to see at that time what positive steps are being taken in Colombia, and whether what guarantees I was given when I was in the country, including that of the President, is being respected. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your powerful statement.